Welcome to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Badass Direct Sales Mastery is a podcast for rock star direct sales moms who are determined to make their business kick ass. Jennie will share her knowledge of effective sales and recruiting techniques, tips to get what you want from your business, and will interview direct sales professionals and leaders from various companies. The interviews will give insight to how these rock stars got to where they are and where they plan to grow in the future. And now, the direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger.
Welcome back to another episode of Badass Direct Sales Mastery. I'm your host, your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger, helping you whip your business into shape. And today I have with me not one, but two six-figure success leaders here. I want to introduce you to Ryan and Megan Williams. They are seasoned veterans with 22 years of experience in network marketing with just one company. Their personal story of success and development has been featured in several nationally distributed business publications. They developed, and I'm putting this in air quotes, y'all, the system to aid in the accelerated success for those hungry for something to change in their lives. They are inspired and more motivated today than they have ever been. The future is bright with opportunity and unlimited success for those willing to be consistent and persistent in their pursuit of growth and excellence. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us, Jennie. This is great.
Your audience, we've heard a lot about you and obviously the success you've had and the other type caliber individuals that have been on your podcast. And we're excited and able to be a part of that, building culture base. And so thanks for having us on.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited. And of course, I'm going to say this and my badass crew, that's my regular listeners. This is not going to shock them when I say I met you guys through BNI.
It's a great collaborative glue that kind of gets people together. And again, success leaves clues, as it were. And when you're in the right environment, you tend to run across the right kind of people. So yes.
Exactly. And so let's go back to the beginning, though, because you guys have been doing this for 22 years at the time of this recording. How did you get started in this industry? What's your origin story?
Well, I'll do the origin story for sure as my Wonder Woman self. I'll tell you, I was teaching high school and I had a ton of student loan debt from getting my master's degree. They always say, go to school and you can get a better job. But what they don't tell you is you owe all this money. And I think after taxes, it was an extra $150 a month. And so I looked at Ryan, I said, we got to do something different. And my younger brother called me up to be a customer. And when I found out he was going to save me money on my phone bill that I had already spent money on, it wasn't anything like weird. I said to him, hey, I want to do your business with you. And he was surprised because I think most of the time in network marketing, you're always trying to either trick someone to see it or like work around the system. I don't know. 22 years ago, I felt like there was all this subterfuge. And he was surprised and he said to me, well, you can't do it unless you help me retire mom and dad. And I said, if you think we can really retire mom and dad with long distance, I'm in. And it was interesting. The first 5 years, we worked it really part-time. We did retire my mom and dad in those 5 years and got them a nice 6 figures. We were able to duplicate it for ourselves as well in the first 5 years. But the neat thing about it is how many people won just because we opened our mouth and were willing to go outside the box. And so Ryan was in a very intense job at the time. And so it was really nice to get time freedom back and him and I to be able to pursue this together part-time. And then we finally had our oldest, he's 18 now and off to college. But it was wonderful for me to be able to stay home and work from home the whole time as a mom with all 3 of my boys. So it was really good.
Now there's the other side of the story, which is the guy side, right? So,
yes.
The truth of the matter is Megan is a red apple. I mean, she's constantly a positive, energetic. She's never met a stranger. She walks into a room. She instantly knows everybody. She's got an amazing memory, great personality. So she's like, I will say created for this type of industry of you've got to be willing to put yourself out there to be communicative and all that kind of good stuff. we are an amazing couple together, but I'm on the opposite side of that spectrum. So I came from law enforcement. So I'll say super skeptical, super conservative, a not risk taker, had never been involved in sales, really viewed the industry at large as like one of those, not really sure about it, something that I didn't want to put my name with just for more ignorance than it was factual experience, but just more like the allure of what it was all about. I didn't have a credible experience nor anyone in my life that had ever been successful or done something with it. So there was a natural hesitancy to jumping in the pool, as it were, versus Megan's like, I'm in. And it was a little bit more like, what is this? How does it work? What are you talking about? And so it was all about measuring up. Honestly, for me, was the way in which it was presented was posture, which is a significant element to success. See, when you have someone like myself, I was in law enforcement, so I was in the fraud and financial crimes division as a detective.
So that's like even harder.
I'll tell you what, if you approached me at the time or approach me even now with a sense of vulnerability, like you're not sure about what you're talking about, I will sense that. And it will be nothing good for you. And so I laid into her brother when she was already in, but he's like, hey, I want you to come look at this business. And boy, I laid into him with everything that you would normally experience on a negativity scale. In my mind, it was done out of compassion, out of saving somebody from making a terrible decision, and they're going to go to jail, and, you know, browbeating your friends to buy stuff they don't need. And here's what made me at least listen was posture. He said, hey, Ryan, listen, with all due respect, of all the people that I know in my life, I respect and admire you the most because of what you've accomplished in your career. Would you do me a favor and listen to the information from a leader who's credible and has had success? Because I want your opinion, but right now you're giving me your opinion on something you don't know about. And so it was with that, I'll say, shift of mindset where he didn't cower before me. He stood up in front of me. It's like, hey, listen, I want you to come listen to this. And would you listen to it so that I can value your opinion with actual information? And I had to respect that coming from my perspective of logic. Is I had no actual information. I was going on summation. So it tied into me. And then when I saw it, I was like her. I was like, this makes sense. Offering services that people pay and use in our particular company, that people use anyway versus a product, which for me was a little more scary to be, you know, that type of industry has had tremendous success. Obviously, there's lots of listeners that are in those industries. I was more apprehensive to a product-based business than a service-based business. It seemed to vibe better with me. So I was like, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. So again, then the evidence of like her, we actually saved money on the service, which is part of the, you know, marketing element of the company, is help people save money. I'm like, well, I like helping people. I'm in public service. I like helping people. So that's the story behind it. And sometimes the messenger gets browbeat, especially by those closest to you. And here's what I'll tell you is realize it's out of generally speaking, it's out of love and safety. They're trying to protect you. It's just done out of ignorance in most cases because they really don't know or have had no real experience with either your organization, your team, your philosophy, or your company. And those things all are separate measurements because you can have the same opportunity, but the different philosophy of a group or team in the same company makes it attractive or detractive.
Yeah,
absolutely. So he was on board, but he was really supportive, even though he had a little skepticism. Yeah. But, you know, network marketing is amazing because you can't have success without bringing people with you. And whether someone becomes just a client in our services and we help them that way, or they want to be referral partners with us and share what we can do, we love it because it's a group community that everybody wins. So that's been our philosophy forever with the system.
Absolutely. And I think what's interesting to go along with that too is just, and this popped up because I just happened to share this. I think it was this weekend on social media, one of those pictures that's like, it costs you nothing to support your friend's small business, right? Not just network marketing business, any small business, right? That's they listed out like 7 or 8 things that you can do that literally cost people nothing to do to help their friend feel supported, right? But the fact that there is this opportunity to bring people along with you and say, look, I have this opportunity, take it or don't. But I would feel awful if I didn't at least make the offer for you to check it out, right? So
And I think if you can come to a place with that with everyone you share it with, then no one's ever going to feel like they're pressured one way or another. It's just about timing. It's about the right fit. And truly, we've learned now after 22 years, it really is timing, because I might have invited someone in the beginning, but 11 years later, it was the right time. But too many people quit before they get those results.
yeah.
And so they don't realize that it had nothing to do with them. It had to do with where the other person was at.
Well, I actually find too, a lot of the experience we've had and that's why we call ourselves the system, is because we've proven things out over time to create a simplified model that can get results for people without, now we all have to go through the same journey. There's no shortcuts to success. Everyone's got to walk that path, that journey of success. But sadly, statistically in network marketing, the average new rep or IBO or team member, whatever you guys call them in your organizations, talks to fewer than 5 actual people before they check out mentally of doing it or not doing it, because they're basing their infinite, eternal perspective of success based upon their 5 people whom they spend the most time with. And that's the hard part, is sometimes the people closest to us are not the right people we're looking for to build a business with.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And yet those people have such an influence on us in our decisions that your motivation and energy and, aura, it reduces when that negative brother-in-law says, dude, what are you doing? Are you kidding me? And they start laying into you, right? Like, it takes a special kind of person or supportive environment to kind of weather that and realize, hey, I need to compartmentalize this response and not allow the response of others to control or dictate my actions, which is very easy to say on a podcast, much harder in application to do.
Oh, yeah.
In order to have the success you need. But the reason I say that is most of us don't simply talk to enough people in order to get the results we desire from an opportunity. And then we generally start selling and realizing it's about sharing and not selling. It's like, we use the analogy in our organization about hunting versus fishing. And I'm sure you've heard, and your audience has heard the analogy that an animal senses when it's being hunted, and every animal has the same response. It runs.
Right.
So if you go about hunting amongst your peers and friends and social environments, they're going to have the same response any other animal has when a predator is chasing it, and that is to run. Versus having a different philosophy, still inviting people, but it's kind of like baiting, where you put out the appropriate treat, and then the people are attracted naturally to what has been put out there. So there's a fine skill that is learned normally through failure, that selling doesn't work, that sharing is a more effective mechanism to success.
And that's one of the things that I know I've addressed before on the show has been there are different models: direct sales, network marketing, and MLM. Those 3 models are very closely related, but I keep telling the direct sellers, I'm like, you do realize this doesn't mean you have to directly sell.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Right. If you can take your direct sales business and treat it like a network marketing business and have 50% of your job build your network, 50% of your job be the marketing. That's the fishing piece, right? The sharing, the putting out of information that people find attractive. And then when they go, ooh, I like that, then you can have the conversation. Then you reel them in without, again, making them feel hunted or targeted, right? Because
that's right.
It's about that. So I love that. But it's so funny because as you were talking, I could feel the audience members who were all of a sudden having these aha moments. The big ones being around, you're not talking to enough people, right? Which, hello, if you're not experiencing the success you want, that seems like a very facepalm, duh thing. But at the same time, it makes perfect sense. I need to be talking to more people. Yeah. Right. And what that looks like. So how did you guys find, because with you as a teacher and Megan, you as a teacher, and Ryan, you as a cop, where were you finding people and going out and beginning to experience the hunting versus fishing way of doing this?
Well, I love that. Our model for the system was really just extending invitations. And then when the persons that we talked to, if it wasn't the right time, getting referrals. And I think that that's how come in 22 years, we've kept growing and we keep having the success we have is because I don't really care if you're the one who I work with. What I want to tell you is what we're up to. And then you can think of people, you'll think of people you can refer. Now, in that process, we end up finding business partners who want to actually, monetize those referrals. But then we also just have really great referral partners that just make them look good from that too. And I think that that's where we've shifted in the last 7, 8, 10 years is that we're not asking everyone to, invest and be business partners. But if they think they're going to refer us and they start referring us, then we address that and the compensation and what it could be for them part-time. And I think that that's one of the things that really, really will affect your results is, are you trying to say you have to do this many people and you have to have this much stuff? Do you have to do this? Or are you just having a great time getting to know and connecting? And in that connection, find out who else they know that this could be a good fit, because the person may not be the right fit. And as much as we love them and we want them to win with us, they have to decide if it's for us. So I always said, you are the inviter and they get to tell us what they liked about what they heard and where they want to go from there. And if you can remember that, you get a ton more people. And we moved to Cincinnati, 7 years ago, and we didn't know anyone. So again, at this point, we had to go out and actually network and talk to people versus the first 15 years in our business. It literally started with some friends in our living room that we said, hey, this is what we're up to. It may or may not be for you, but we need referrals because we work full time. We don't know that many people. Who can you share this with? Who can you let us meet? And then it just has been a domino effect over the last 20 years. And then people come back to us now 20 years later and they're like, Megan, Brian, are you still doing something like this? Can I refer you? And we're like, heck yeah. So, yeah.
Well, I was going to say, because part of the conversation that I remember that Ryan and I had a few weeks ago when we first had our first one-to-one was, your business, the company you're with, offering the services for a number of years was doing a lot of the same things. But recently, the company has added a new service that even I read in your intro was, we are more inspired, more motivated now than we were even 22 years ago. What has changed in the business that now has you let's do this? We can help more people. What is it?
I mean, I appreciate the question. Obviously, I think every company is innovating. Mm-hmm. So no matter what company you're associated with, there's always going to be that new sizzle on the steak, right? That new thing to keep people excited. And honestly, when you're around long enough, you realize the marketing that goes on in any company. And it's that's more lipstick on the pig than it is, you know what I mean? Really something that's revolutionary. I mean, honestly, you just get a lot of perspective with experience. You're like, I've heard a lot. I've seen a lot. I've experienced a lot. I've been on the highs. I've been on the lows. I've been through the desert, been through the jungle. We've just seen it. But, our company launched a healthcare product, an alternative to health insurance. And this healthcare product was something we as self-employed people, when we left our jobs, our particular direct sales company does not offer any form of healthcare or options for healthcare for individuals, families, or otherwise. So it kind of obviously it always has been that way in most direct sales companies or network MLMs. They'd say, hey, we'd love to have you guys go full time, but if you're going to leave a career or job where that's where you're getting your benefits, that's a significant stumbling block to a lot of people really pulling that trigger. Because we were paying over $2,000 a month for our health insurance with traditional healthcare. And then obviously the product we launched out with was $605 for the same level of healthcare at a third the cost, lower deductibles, unlimited networks. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. So for us, again, being believers of the system, we're also authentic, to be honest with you. We're 100% genuine that if we don't feel, although our company may offer a product or a service, if it's not something we feel, we appreciate that service or that particular product is available for market, but it may not be a particular service that we choose to emphasize or prioritize within our sales structure as a product. Now, it's always available for all independent representatives to figure out what they want to market because they might find it be great for them. But we've always found that people want a return on investment. So people want to get results for their efforts. Mm-hmm. And then the product's got to be great for people. And this particular product saves people 3/4. Like, again, for us, it's $1,400 a month in savings. Well, I don't know about you, but if you could lower a household's monthly bill of $1,400, that is life changing for some families or individuals that are small business owners. So that particular product has thrown us into a world that's like, oh my gosh, like I knew the industry existed, but our company never even offered that type of service, not only to us as representatives, but for us to market or offer.
Yeah.
And it's like, we don't have to go get insurance license to be able to provide it or offer it. And it's broadly acceptable across the US. And you know what I mean? It's like, this is unbelievable. So it's stoked a fire in us because the value it creates for us as the representatives offering it monetarily and the tremendous benefit and relief it's providing the consumer. It's like that perfect storm for us of like, oh, this is it. And then the people that are now working the business, because we do remember what the journey was like to make income. And in most models, there's bonuses for volume, and then there's residual on the back end. And those two numbers should not be confused with what the goal is. But the goal of bonuses is to provide immediate financial relief for whatever strain you're going through. But the real golden ticket in most industries I'm familiar with is the residual, the reoccurring premiums, residuals, whatever that might be, that if you took your foot off the gas, unlike volume, which has tremendous amounts of volatility to it, the residuals like that old coal burning locomotive, and it just keeps churning like a good old consistent train. And the amount of work we had to produce 20 years ago to create residual income that was actually substantial compared to what it is today is 1,000% easier.
Yeah.
So the belief we have in helping people actually succeed and win, when you're helping a higher percentage of people win, succeed, and not just like pennies on the dollar, but like hundreds and thousands of dollars that are generating, it stokes that fire of leadership to go, man, we're full tilt into this thing, like more than we've been in a long time. So
I think too, Jenny, the thing is like what you were just talking about is how do you get more people in your net, or how are you filling that funnel of people to talk to?
Yeah.
Well, we got this opportunity to be able to not just talk to a household, and we can usually save a household about $2,500 a year with our different essential services. But to be able to now say you could save up to $20,000 a year and you have better service, because truly our healthcare actually, I think, is better. But we could go to small businesses and be able to offer them solutions. And it was really great. This morning, I was on with a wonderful company out of Florida, and just going from the healthcare that they've had to our healthcare option for them, they are going to save over $7,500 a month. And
wow.
I don't know, like that just, when you can come away with something and you're saving 70,000 plus a year for a small business right now with this economy,
right?
And they're not going to cut the care that they need. That to me gets us excited. And for those of you who are direct sellers, this is what's so neat about it is it opens a whole new demographic that we didn't really have before with business owners. And we have so many friends who are traditional business owners and also in the network marketing space that they have to pick and choose what they get to do. And this is just one way of relief. And so we just are so excited to share and to offer a solution in lots of facets. It's good.
I think that's really cool though, because when you do have a whole new market to go to, now it's not just, okay, how do I sell this to my friends, family, neighbors, the Frank model, if you guys are familiar, if you remember that from back in the day, friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, and kids contacts, right? But now to be able to say, okay, I can take this into a business, right? It really changes things, because then it really is about what's in it for not just the rep, but that business owner to be able to save over $7,000 a month. I mean, that right there, that's a part-time employee.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Or that is more marketing dollars so that they can make more money. Right.
Yeah.
Like there's so many different things that they can do with that. Or like you said, relieve the pressure of all the costs that have been increasing. And now all of a sudden they're getting same level of care or, service at a lower price. That is so appreciated by a business owner. That makes so much sense to be able to do that.
And I appreciate that. And even the people who were able to create partnerships with, like there are certain industries that are adamantly opposed to the direct sales network marketing, like the financial planner world. If you talk to any of those people, they have a very difficult time about in their role as a fiduciary over their clients. It's difficult for them to offer a referral literally to anybody in most cases because their name, reputation, liability is connected. Well, the value of a financial planner who's trying to look at the cost spend of their client person and they're like, here's a way in which a trusted partner, and this is the critical element, the trust earned has got to be there through integrity, through time, through experience, to where that person says, hey, I trust this person to sit with a client and have their best interest in mind, not your best interest in mind as the sales person, but saying, hey, we have these arrays of services. We'd love to review which, if any of them might be a good fit for the lowering of your expenses as a business owner. And in this case, what if you were that financial planner who now has saved a client $70,000 or $84,000 a year?
Right.
That business owner might be able to reallocate some of those savings into other future financial investments. And thereby they're going, well, I'm not a sales rep. I'm not making money from this. So there's no friction to their licensing.
Yeah.
And they're saying, hey, but I've got a great trusted referral partner that is, again, you know what I mean? Like there's, sometimes time creates credibility. And once people sense the genuineness behind your methodology, so we're getting a bigger connection base of industry type people, professionals, because the nature of how we operate, the way our philosophy is as individuals in this industry, we're automatically separated from the masses of people doing the same thing we're doing. We just do it so uniquely and individually that they're like, you're not like the other people I talk to in your same company because of the way in which you guys go about it. And that's about your execution in your market and becoming a credible expert and really be separate, right? Being unique.
Well, and I think that goes back to what you were saying in the very beginning about your whole experience, that posturing piece. You know what you have to offer. Like you believe in it. And there's that, when you've got that core belief in there, that comes across very differently when you're having a conversation versus someone who's a little like, well, I know I have a great product and it's really expensive. And, like you can literally feel their energy drop as because they're bringing their own beliefs about money and expenses and the product and its value to the conversation versus you guys are like, no, nothing else on the market is like this product, this service. This, like that belief comes across, that passion will come through in a conversation like that and will change how the person you're talking to receives.
Absolutely. And, I think that that's one thing too, whenever we meet people who are in our space of whether it's direct sales or, network marketing, we appreciate whatever they're doing because they've got something that they believe in. And of course, we're always open to hear because whether we can be a referral partner with them or not officially, we always are referral partners with everybody, right?
Right.
And one of the neatest things that's happened this year is our healthcare program actually wants people to be healthy. Go figure. They don't want us to get sick and do that. And
shocking. They want to limit their out-of-pocket costs by making people healthy. That's crazy.
I know. And the best thing has been is that now we can promote our health and wellness friends and coaches and other direct sales companies to our own clients and say, listen, now you can actually, anything you're subscribed to and the good vitamins you're using and these guys you're working with, you can actually have it apply to your deductible through our program up to $100 every month. And it's been so much fun to be able to then give a referral to a different friend who is building their network marketing group or their direct sales situation. I have a Zoom set up with 3 ladies who are phenomenal at their network marketing company. I'm excited to be able to promote and, bring people to them, but it doesn't do it at the cost of me. We both win. I get clients who are looking for solutions. They get clients that are looking for the right wellness, product that fits for them. And we can have synergy together. And I think that that's the part that makes us such a unique team, or just in general, when we look at things, is we have never disparaged anybody else's type of company. We just know for us, this was our fit. This was our avenue. But we could always say there are lots of other options that can work in your favor, and you can be confident about them. But it's just nice now that we can actually get perks for both sides.
No, and that is such a cool thing, because I'm all about the win-win and the win-win-win and the win-win-win-win-win, where everybody's coming out ahead, because in that case, any one of your clients who's with your healthcare service, they're already winning, right? Now they get the additional win of being introduced to someone who's going to promote their health with a product.
Yeah.
They're going to save money, and that your friend, the referral partner, gets a new client too.
That's right.
Win, win, win. I mean, whenever you can find a win, 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 that's a good thing. So my badass crew knows that my Ohana means so much to me. I tattooed it on my arm. So I know you guys can't see it because you're listening to the podcast, but go to my Facebook. You can find the picture of my Ohana tattoo. It's on there. So, but no, this has been fantastic. And I know you guys have been in the industry for a really long time, and you've helped a lot of people become successful. And you also have decided to offer to the Badass Crew an opportunity to learn how to increase their profitability. Tell us more about that.
Well, one of the things I think, just getting to know people and connecting is important. And because we've been in the essential service arena for so long, people don't know that you can actually get services through a friend and a family member, and it didn't cost any money in advertising. And so there's these huge margins that we can keep money in their households and their businesses. And so just like our healthcare can do, there are other things we can do, but there's also strategic partnerships. And so we just put together a fun little, PDF for everybody, just to kind of start thinking outside the box on what are relationships and connections that could help you in your current industry to help bring better results. Whether you work with us, great. It may not be us that fit that mold, but it will help you start to think of other things and other people. And if we can be a support and help, we love to do that. So we definitely wanted to share those little insights we've had after 22 years. And we wanted to, give back to that badass crew of yours, Jenny.
I love it. Okay. So Badass Crew, what they are offering for you is a PDF called 5 Business Secrets to Increase Profits Without Spending Money. Do I have your attention yet? I hope so. So if you would like this, my Badass Crew, you guys already know where to find the link. It's in the show notes. Now, if this is your very first time ever listening to Badass Direct Sales Mastery and you're thinking to yourself, show notes, what are those? Where do I find them? How do I get the link? All you have to do is grab your phone, as long as you're not driving, click on today's episode and scroll under Megan and Ryan's picture, and you will see the link for the 5 business secrets to increase profits without spending money there in the show notes, or also called episode notes in certain apps. So just be aware, you can find the link. You don't have to worry about spelling it right or what is it or whatever. Just go find the link in the show notes. I promise we'll get you there so that you can learn how to increase your profitability without spending any money. Ryan and Megan, this was fan-freaking-tastic. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and your wisdom with my Badass Crew. I so appreciate you.
Well, thank you for having us. We're always humbled to be asked to share insights, but we love meeting new people. And Jenny, your connection is phenomenal. So thank you for including us.
Love to see those trends of success of your clientele, your audience members, the results that they have by implementation of, what we covered today, right? At the end of the day, information is one thing, but it separates people that are I'll say champions in the industry, is the application of information. And that's what we encourage and call to action for your people is, look, implement some of the things, some of those nuggets. I hope you walked away with 5 tips from our episode here today, and you decide today to implement those little tweaks to your business in review and saying, how can I get more efficient? How can I get better about growing my business and creating that common thread of abundance in my environment, and realize a multiplier versus an addition. A multiplier will win because they're using multiplication. And that's all about strategic partnerships across many different fields where, listen, there's enough opportunity for all of us to succeed and win. You don't have to dig a hole for your neighbor in order for you to get ahead. You all can run on the Autobahn and have success together. So that principle and philosophy is what drives us to be successful today, is realizing we can all win together and we can build this community and build this space and build this industry cumulatively to change what the past has been, what the future is going to be, and realize the future is brighter than ever. I
love this. Oh my gosh. And we're going to have to bring you back again, because this was such a great conversation. No doubt we're going to be able to talk more about this. So, Badass Crew, I want you to start out by reaching out, go find their contact information and send them one thing that you're going to take action on to let them know that their time was worth it being here for you. And please let me know too, because I want to know what you guys are doing. That's always a great thing to know, that the ripples that are going out in the world and spreading positively. And of course, Badass Crew, stay tuned, because there's another badass episode on its way.
Thanks for listening to the Badass Direct Sales Mastery Podcast with your direct sales dom, Jennie Bellinger. Why are you waiting to go to badassdirectsalesmastery.com? Don't make the dom get her whip. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to share it with another rock star that you know in direct sales after you subscribe to the podcast, so you won't miss any future episodes. You can also check out the show notes for links and any contact information mentioned in today's episode. We'll see you next time.